Mrs. Cicada says, Atlanta, what are you doing out here on a Thursday afternoon, Marcus?
Visiting my mom in Lyons. Headed back to the city.
You seemed real cool when I pulled you over. Folks get nervous when they haven't done anything. You weren't.
I know my rights, sir, and I know I stick.
The body camera turned on with a sharp click. The first thing it caught was a white man's voice, loud and angry, cutting through the hot Georgia air. Don't move. Don't reach. Keep your hands where I can see them. A black man standing frozen outside his gray Nissan Altima on the side of a rural highway. His face was calm, but his eyes were wide. A state deputy stood inches from his door, hand resting on his gun, jaw tight, already sure of what kind of man he thought he was dealing with. What the deputy didn't know was that every word he said next would end his career. What he didn't know was that the quiet man in the driver's seat wasn't just another driver he could scare, talk down to, or push around. And what makes this even crazier? The same camera meant to protect the officer would expose everything. Before we go any further, make sure you subscribe to the channel because stories like this matter. And drop a comment telling us where you're watching from, because injustice doesn't belong to just one place. Now let's get back to that road in Georgia. Why are you shaking? Deputy Daniel Hargrove snapped. I'm not, the man said softly. Don't argue with me, Hargrove shot back. I asked a simple question. Cars flew past them, blowing hot wind and dust across the shoulder. Cicadas screamed from the trees like the earth itself was buzzing with anger. The black man swallowed. Sir, my hands are on the wheel like you asked. Hargrove leaned closer, his shadow falling across the window. You got an attitude already. That's a problem. The body cam caught Hargrove's face in sharp detail. White, red from the heat. Eyes hard. Buzz cut tight to his scalp. A man used to being obeyed. The black man took a slow breath. Yes, sir, he said. And that, somehow, made things worse. His name was Marcus Bell. 32 years old. Slim build. Neatly trimmed beard. Brown skin warm like polished wood. He wore a light blue company polo with a small tech logo on the chest and dark slacks creased from sitting too long in the car. Marcus didn't look dangerous. He didn't look loud. He didn't look like trouble. He looked tired. Earlier that day, he had been sitting at his mother's kitchen table, drinking sweet tea out of a chipped glass, listening to her complain about her knees and the heat and how the world felt colder than it used to. He fixed her phone. He hugged her before he left. He told her he'd call when he got home. Now he sat on the side of Highway 17 with a gun inches from his face. Marcus had learned long ago how to be quiet in moments like this. Not weak. Quiet. Because quiet kept you alive. Hargrove stepped back and waved his hand sharply. Step out of the vehicle. For what reason, sir? Marcus asked. Hargrove's lips twisted. Don't test me. Step up. Now. Marcus opened the door slowly and stepped onto the shoulder. The gravel crunched under his dress shoes. Hargrove circled him like a dog, eyes scanning Marcus's body, his car, the inside of the Altima. Where you headed? Hargrove asked. Home. From where? My mother's house. Hargrove smirked. Ah. And where's that? Marcus answered. Hargrove shook his head. Funny. That's a long way for someone like you to be driving. Marcus didn't respond. You know why I pulled you over? Hargrove asked. No, sir. You cut off another vehicle. I signaled and merged safely. There you go again, Hargrove said. Arguing. A white pickup slowed down as it passed. The driver stared. Didn't stop. Two women in an SUV drove by, whispering to each other, eyes wide. No one stepped in. Hargrove leaned close again. You nervous because you got something in that car you shouldn't? No, sir. You sure about that? Yes, sir. Hargrove laughed, short and cold. You all say that. Marcus's jaw tightened just for a second. The camera caught it. Hargrove raised his voice. Turn around. Marcus did. Hands behind your back. Am I being detained? Hargrove grabbed Marcus's wrist hard. You are now. The metal cuffs snapped shut. Marcus flinched just a little. There it is, Hargrove said loudly like he'd won something. I knew you were jumpy. The cuffs were too tight. Marcus's fingers tingled. A bead of sweat rolled down his temple. Sir, Marcus said calmly, the cuffs are hurting. You should have thought about that before acting suspicious. I haven't done anything wrong. Hargrove leaned in so close his breath hit Marcus's ear. Wrong is whatever I say it is right now. The camera caught the words clearly. Marcus stared straight ahead. The road blurred. For a moment he wasn't on Highway 17 anymore. He was somewhere else. Somewhere dusty and loud. Somewhere far away. He remembered standing in a different uniform once. Remembered orders shouted over gunfire. Remembered how silence could save lives. He remembered promises made to him by this country. He remembered believing them. Marcus said nothing. He didn't need to. Hargrove began searching the car without asking. He tossed Marcus's briefcase onto the hood. Laptop. Hargrove said. That yours? Yes. Let me guess, Hargrove said. IT guy. Yes, sir. Hargrove laughed again. Funny how that works. Marcus didn't ask what he meant. He already knew. A second patrol car slowed nearby but didn't stop. The driver looked, kept going. Hargrove turned back to Marcus. You got warrants? No. You got a record? No. Hargrove leaned back, annoyed. We'll see. He spoke into his radio, running Marcus's name. The radio crackled, then went quiet. Too quiet. Hargrove's smile faded. The dispatcher's voice finally came through, unsure. Oh. Deputy Hargrove, can you confirm spelling? Hargrove rolled his eyes. Marcus, Pause. Longer this time. Marcus closed his eyes. Hargrove shifted on his feet. Dispatch, he snapped. The voice came back softer now. Careful. Deputy, stand by. Hargrove frowned. Stand by for what? Silence. The cicadas screamed louder. Marcus opened his eyes and looked straight ahead. He knew that silence. He had heard it before. Hargrove glanced at the body cam, then back at Marcus. Something was changing. He could feel it. Who exactly did you say you work for? Hargrove asked, slower now. Marcus finally spoke, his voice steady. I didn't say. Hargrove swallowed. The radio crackled again. Deputy Hargrove, the dispatcher said, voice tight. You need to slow this down. Hargrove stiffened. What are you talking about? Marcus stood in cuffs on the side of the road, calm as stone. And for the first time since the lights came on, the man with the gun wasn't in control anymore. The radio crackled again, sharper this time, louder, like it wanted to be heard over the cicadas and the traffic and the pounding in Deputy Daniel Hargrove's chest. Deputy Hargrove, the dispatcher said, every word slow and careful now. You need to remove the cuffs immediately. Hargrove froze. What? He said. Marcus Bell didn't move. Didn't smile. Didn't look back. I said remove the cuffs, the dispatcher repeated. And step back from the vehicle. Hargrove's face tightened. Dispatch, I've got a detained subject. He's acting. Deputy, the voice cut in, firm now, no room for debate. You are not detaining anyone. You are conducting a traffic stop. And you are out of line. A long truck horn blasted as it passed, shaking the air. Hargrove glanced around. The trees. The road. The camera blinking red on his chest. He lowered his voice. You want to explain to me what's going on? Another pause. Then the dispatcher spoke again, and this time there was no hesitation. Marcus Bell is a federally cleared systems architect contracted through the Department of Defense. Former Army officer. Bronze Star. Purple Heart. Multiple commendations. His clearance level is above yours. Mine. And everyone else on this channel. The words landed like bricks. Hargrove's mouth opened slightly. Marcus closed his eyes. Not in relief. In exhaustion. Hargrove looked at Marcus like he was seeing him for the first time. The polo shirt. The quiet voice. The calm. None of it fit the picture Hargrove had drawn in his head. You didn't say any of that, Hargrove muttered. Marcus finally turned his head just enough to look at him. You didn't ask, he said. The camera caught it all. The way Hargrove's shoulders sagged. The way his hand shook as he reached for the cuffs. He unlocked them too fast. One clattered to the ground. I'm gonna need you to just, stand by, Hargrove said, suddenly unsure, suddenly small. Marcus rubbed his wrists slowly. Red marks circled them like bruised rings. He said nothing. A black SUV pulled up behind the patrol car. No lights. No sirens. Just presence. Two men stepped out. Suits. Earpieces. Calm faces. One of them flashed a badge so fast the camera barely caught it. Deputy Hargrove, the man said, voice smooth but cold. I'm Special Agent Caleb Rourke. Hargrove straightened. Sir, Rourke held up a hand. We've seen enough. The second man walked straight to Marcus. Sir, he said quietly, are you all right? Marcus nodded once. Rourke turned back to Hargrove. You ran his name. You heard dispatch. And you kept going. Hargrove's throat bobbed. I was just doing my job. Rourke's eyes didn't blink. No. You were doing what you thought you could get away with. Traffic had slowed now. Phones were out. Someone whispered, "That's the guy who got cuffed." Hargrove felt it. The stairs. The shift. Rourke spoke again. Louder this time. "This entire stop is recorded. Audio and video. Your language. Your conduct. Your assumptions." Hargrove's face went pale. Marcus stepped forward, calm, measured. "I never raised my voice," Marcus said. "I never resisted. I never disrespected you." He looked Hargrove dead in the eyes. "You decided who I was before you ever knew my name." Rourke nodded. "Internal Affairs will be contacting you within the hour. You are relieved of duty effective immediately." Hargrove's radio chirped, then went silent. Just like that. No badge ripped away. No yelling. Just the quiet sound of a man losing everything he thought he owned. The suits left as quickly as they came. The patrol cars pulled away. Marcus stood alone by his Nissan again. But the road felt different now. A woman from one of the SUVs approached slowly, tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry," she said. "I should have said something." Marcus nodded. "I know." He got into his car. Sat for a moment. His phone buzzed. A text from his mother. "You home yet?" Marcus smiled faintly. Almost he typed back. He started the engine and pulled onto the road, the cicadas still screaming, the sun still burning, but something heavy finally lifted. Weeks later, the footage went public. Marcus didn't give interviews. Didn't chase attention. He went back to work. Back to building systems meant to protect people who would never know his name. But one line from the footage echoed everywhere. Spoken soft. Spoken steady. "You decided who I was before you ever knew my name." If this story moved you, subscribe to the channel for more real stories that matter, and tell us in the comments, what would you have done in Marcus's place? Because silence can save you. But truth changes everything.